What happened to Doja Cat's career is so sad because it's all an effect of her own self-hatred.
American Eagle has very many people that buy it, just like the Gap. And when you're a brand that appeals to so many people, you have to be very cautious of your advertising. And of course, we've seen big companies before make nightmarish ads that come back and bite them in their behind. And this is very true with American Outfitters. They released an ad earlier last week with Sydney Sweeney, and this campaign says this.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. Damn! My genes are blue.
She's first referring to her genes that basically make her who she is physically, all right? And then obviously her color of her eyes, which are blue. And it then ties into the fact that the jeans that she's wearing is blue, right? Really what she's saying is something else. I am white, blonde with blue eyes, and I have good genes that match the jeans that I'm wearing. Huh? For all people who are not Caucasian and look like that, you're offended because if you're not like Sydney Sweeney, then you must not be attractive. And obviously because they selected her for that particular ad, can also be inferred that whoever isn't like that isn't attractive.
Hey, you wanna go to American Eagle?
Oh, I can't go in there because I'm black.
Now, this is a black woman who probably liked American Eagle before, but the way that she took this ad was, hey, listen, I'm not white, so I can't shop there anymore. But she wasn't the only one.
Literally nobody in the world can convince me that Sydney Sweeney is anybody's beauty standard. Anybody who actually looks at beauty objectively. Because what? I can go right next door and find 3, 4, 5 Sydney Sweeneys. Not to say Sydney Sweeney is ugly, but she's a solid 6 on a good day. Sydney Sweeney would get lost in a handful of people. Nobody's breaking their necks over Sydney Sweeney. Please scratch that, because white people, y'all beauty, the way y'all see beauty be real weird. Real weird.
But wait, there's more.
So obviously this is rage bait, but here's what nobody's really talking about. This campaign is poking at women's greatest and most tender insecurity under the patriarchy, which is desirability in the beauty standard. It affects not only non-white women, even though this is clearly white supremacist, Aryan race propaganda, but it also adversely affects the majority of white women who do not naturally have blonde hair and blue eyes. Because yes, even the women who can achieve this look have to do it through artificial means in one way or another. The vast majority of white women are not naturally blonde. It's a very, very, very small percentage who go on to be naturally blonde in adulthood. Sydney Sweeney herself is not even a natural blonde.
What? So the last lady says something important. Even Sydney Sweeney is not a natural blonde, so even if you're white, it still hurts you also because you're not being represented. And of course, if I'm the creative director of American Eagle, I'm not gonna make an ad like this, but maybe they did this because they understood it will cause controversy. And if that was their plan, it was genius because they got a certain person who mocked the ad. Doja Cat came out with her version of the American Eagle ad and did this.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Now, in this ad, Doja Cat is mocking Sydney Sweeney. Now, remember, the creative director of this ad was very insensitive to people who are not white or blonde hair or blue eyes in their appearance. And Doja Cat is basically reminding them of that fact. What she's doing is she's transforming Sydney Sweeney into a degenerate hillbilly accent, which this also struck a nerve into many white people. This person says, now the world knows Doja Cat is racist. The original tweet that they shared says, only in America can a jealous black woman like Doja Cat make fun of a white woman like Sydney Sweeney and give her hillbilly accent and not be considered racist. This other person here writes, Robert Seffer, whatever his name is. Doja Cat is an African-American that is seethingly mocking an ad campaign featuring a blonde, blue-eyed Sydney Sweeney with good genes. Also Doja Cat. What she's trying to say is, you're making fun of her for being white, but you want to look white. Now she is half black, half Jewish, but you get what he's trying to prove here. you're black, but you have blonde hair that isn't really blonde, and you want to look like Sydney Sweeney with the good genes, and you're mad because you don't have those good genes. Now then, if you can see what several blogs did. Now in this case, Swifty, LOL, look at the pics they chose for Doja Cat. What they did was they put, Sweeney looking very attractive, and then they have, Doja Cat looking like, very hood and ghetto, but you could say it's still shots. But again, they're trying to make the case that, hey, this is what she looks like. And it wasn't just that blog here. The second one here, INKL, Doja Cat and ex-American Eagles staffer and more unleashed on that Sydney Sweeney over that ad. Now, I didn't know that she worked there before, but yeah, you get my point. So basically the world is starting to get mad at Doja Cat for making fun of Sydney Sweeney in reality, which was, in my honest opinion, like a racist ad. But then something weird happened. Black women do this.
And Doja Cat sitting up here mocking Sydney Sweeney in that American Eagle commercial. We ain't forgot what happened in them chat rooms. Who the told you could do that? I bet you if you had the opportunity, you would have been in that American Eagle commercial. I promise you would have. To sit up here and mock that commercial like you wasn't doing what you was doing years ago to get where you are now in those white supremacist chat groups, letting them call you all kinds of derogatory names. Yeah, we ain't forgot. You just want to be on the trend so bad. It's like y'all be thirsty and desperate to try to be regular. It's like, oh, let me jump on this trend because I want to be just like everybody else that's posting about it. But you're not regular. You're not.
So this sister is like, yo, hold on, wait a minute. Like, I don't agree with what happened with American Eagle, but you're not the person to be talking about it. Like, you were in that same chat room with those same white racists that basically we can infer that you're trying to mimic them with the hillbilly accent. Now, this is not to say that people with deep Southern draws on their accent are, come from certain parts of the South are all racist. But it can be inferred that people believe that folks who happen to be hillbillies, if you want to call it that, or people who are there are racist. So you're making fun of the people that you actually hang out with or that you want to hang out with and get approval from. And now you're doing this out of what, jealousy? Are you mad because she's better looking than you? Are you mad because she's white and you're not all the way white? And keep in mind that Doja Cat dates specifically only white men too, right? So that's another thing. But then there's more.
Why are we acting like Doja Cat hasn't shown y'all who she is from like the very beginning? The girl was in them chat rooms showing feet. Y'all don't remember that? The girl was out here dating alt-right besties and wearing neo-Nazi t-shirts. Did we forget that? She has shown you guys that she is like a weirdo since the beginning.
This other lady is saying, listen, Doja Cat's been a weirdo. And this was before this even came out. So people are starting to say that Doja Cat is somebody who can't be trusted. And she has this behavior before. What could this really mean? Now, number one, American Eagle and whoever the creative director of this ad has been in this business probably for a long time. This is not a rookie mistake. Putting this ad out, they know people would be talking about it. And would American Eagle get some slack? Yes. Will they lose some customers? Yes. But who is American Eagle trying to appeal to? Its white audience. That's what American Eagle wants to do. It wants to sell to its white audience in America, its white audience in Canada, because they're saying that basically, listen, this is where we want to be. And here's something else that they know. Some of the other groups out there who are Asian or close to white may not be offended by this ad. And the reason why, because Sydney Sweeney is the beauty standard. So they're probably still going to shop there anyway. Now, what's happening is because of the political climate that we're in, and as whites are getting a little bit more emboldened, you're going to see companies take bigger stands than before and be less politically correct for their ad campaigns and their marketing to who they're really wanting to go with as consumers. Now, this doesn't mean that they're going to stop you as a black person from going in and buying, but what it means is they're talking to their audience, and that audience may or may not be you. Let me give you an example. I happened to be in Nairobi just a month ago, 2 months ago to be exact, and I was in a particular part of the town where a lot of the Chinese had restaurants. Now, they're not in Uganda as much as they are in Kenya, but I did notice something, and shout out to Taylor Made Dreams. He's the one that really put this out there like 5 years ago. Almost every restaurant and everything they own was in Mandarin Chinese. It wasn't like the other businesses that were in English that you can say you can go into and buy something. It was in Chinese, all right? So what does that mean? If you can't read in Chinese, you don't know what kind of restaurant it is. It's a Chinese restaurant. They have Chinese menus. But if you go in there, of course, they serve you. But what are they trying to tell you? They're telling you that this business is really not for you. We will take your money, but this business is for us. And, you know, I didn't get upset, and none of us get upset when the Chinese do it. But now what's happening is whites are doing it, all right? And they're doing it as a strategy to be more succinct with their audience and who they want their audience to be and to become different from the competition. American Eagle is taking a bold stand. And if I'm a black lady, like the first lady there, I'm going to say, look, that's who your audience is, fine, but I'm not going to shop there. And Doja Cat, who's getting roasted by these whites, she deserves all that she gets because Doja Cat is a hypocrite to her own message. And I'm glad they're destroying her. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Dude Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Our producer for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.